Are you a business owner who has successfully built a stable business? Because the way I see it, you have worked pretty hard, creating an excellent product line. You've worked tirelessly to build an efficient team and robust processes. And above all, you've earned respect in your industry and the community. Yet, at the same time, you are one of those true blue entrepreneurial DNAs who are not ready to stop just yet because you want more. You now aspire to be a global market leader, be the first choice of your customer. And if yes, if you think you're one of them, then this video can be the start of your journey to become a globally admired brand. Kindly allow me to pose you a question here. Have you ever wondered, when you have a good quality product and you have sustained a presence in the market for over the years, why is it? Why is it that you still stand behind the market leaders in the choice making? Or more importantly, why is it that your business is so heavily reliant on discounts and margins to survive? Well, if you think your competition has better quality or is priced cheaper, then I must remind you that Mercedes, Toyota, Mahindra, and Maruti, they all have their customers and they all exist in the same market. Well, in simple words, what I'm trying to make a point is that there are customers for every quality and every price tag. The reason why they all command a position of market leadership is that they all have a distinct brand promise. From Mercedes to Maruti, they all have a distinct brand promise of their own. The customer knows what to expect from each brand, and depending on the customer's needs, they choose which product to go for. It is a case of having markets within a market, sub-markets, like a big market having sub-market segments for different category of customers. And each brand fulfills a certain needs of its customers in a certain sub-market segment. Now the question you need to ask is, does your brand speak? Does it speak of such a distinct brand promise? Let me tell you something your distribution agencies are never going to tell you. The customer, especially the global customer, they don't consider how good your product is unless it is recognized as a brand, and that to a brand with a strong brand promise. So unless your product has a distinct brand promise, a trust that it will successfully solve a certain need, you are going to stay invisible. And the mantra is very simple. The mantra is your brand needs to talk like a human, so that your customers can relate with it and understand which part of their problems will be solved by your brand. Even if you are a B2B business like say 3M or Schneider or Siemens, you still have to rule your customer's heart before you can enter their life. So far, I would say in B2B segment, only a few Indian businesses like Fevicol or Godrej or HCL, Larsen & Toubro, that is L&T, Suzlon and few other brands have realized the opportunity of creating a strategic branding. And that is the reason they are valued internationally. It is an opportunity, to be honest, which is waiting to be grabbed. The reason your customer is not sticking to you or is only buying your product because of its pricing is because your brand hasn't managed to build a relationship with the customer. Your brand hasn't managed to communicate which part of their needs will be specifically for sure be solved by your brand. The truth is, when buyers can't see a brand promise, they see that product only as a commodity. And when you're seen as a commodity, then unfortunately you enter into the death spiral of price cuts, unstable orders, and zero customer loyalty. I'm sure you said thinking by now, right? But what if we could change all that? And I can assure you that building a brand does not require as much money as you may possibly imagine it to be. It is simply the strategic brand planning that makes your product stand out on the shelf. If you think of brands like, say, Apple or Coke or Colgate or even Nike, then you will instantly understand how brands talk and create a connection with our emotions. And that, gentlemen, is called brand trust. Let me draw your attention to another business reality you might already be faced with. If you're an export-driven business which is over-reliant on few clients and limited market presence, I'm sure you dread the idea of a political shift or a regulation change in your export market, because that could throw your business plans into a total spend. And when you try to expand into new markets, you're up against multinational giants with 10 times your budget, sleek packaging, perfect messaging, and loyal buyers. Meanwhile, your own product is sitting in the same warehouse, but it is without a spotlight. Even the distributors you work with don't even fully understand your brand. Frankly, in such a market scenario, you are invisible, replaceable. I know what you're thinking, that this strategic branding is for the large business houses. I can't afford to run big brand campaigns on TV. I can't hire an agency in every country I'm exporting to. Well, frankly, I don't even know where to begin. Aren't you thinking something along these lines? But let me assure you, strategic branding is not dependent on large budgets. All it requires is systematic planning and patient execution. Let me also add to this by assuring you that the problem isn't in the quality of your business. It is in the clarity of your brand. And until that changes, you're always going to be stuck reacting to market situations instead of leading your markets. But what if we could fix all this once and for all? I'm sure you're curious to know who am I and how I can help you transform your business to the next level. Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Amit Chandra, a brand strategy professional with over 30 years of experience working with top multinationals across 15 sectors. During this tenure, I engaged right from the customers and the client teams on ground to vendors and distribution partners. As an advertising and brand expert, I was largely brainstorming and developing strategies with CXOs in the corporate war rooms, helping businesses not just sell products but build lasting buyer trust through brand clarity, positioning, and strategic visibility. I can safely say I do understand the challenges faced by Indian industries. India Grow Global. India Grow Global is my team's mission to transform Indian businesses into powerful and trusted global brands that international buyers recognize, respect, and consume. Let me highlight to you the fact that the biggest opportunity in your business is not in the latest technology or the state of the art facility, or for that matter, even in the capability that you have. Whether you are a B2B or a B2C manufacturer, your opportunity lies in your brand. And let me caution you here, brands are not created by accident. They're built on the design of trust. It is not some standard formula. It is a process, a strategy, a blueprint that works because it is specifically custom built for each business. So we will go ahead and build a specific business model, a brand strategy model for your business, a niche brand strategy which will work effectively and specifically for your business needs. We don't coach brand strategies. We work side by side with business owners and their teams to build brand systems that drive measurable results. Our clients have consolidated their market presence, they have identified their niche and built leadership positions. They built strong customer engagement, increased their international visibility, and they have expanded their market presence into new regions and created strong demand traction. And they have finally and successfully escaped the low margin, high pressure trap. And they are competing with the world's best. I'm not here to impress you. I'm only here to help you lead your category with a brand that speaks louder than your competitors ever could. You've come this far, and now it is time to rule the market. However, let me add a caveat to that. What has brought you here will not take you there. Because the world is changing, customer expectations are changing, and the only way to succeed in the new global business environment is to adopt new strategies. Let me tell you about a client I worked with. It was back in the late 90s when I started my consulting. We got associated with a client who was a rural Indian brand. The company had good product knowledge, but its products were only received in the rural markets. Even the Indian urban markets had no demand for them. The company was exporting, but only in small quantities to third world countries. The products were robust. They were trying to provide service support as possibly was the norm in those days. But their brand perception was that of a rural brand. a non-glamorous brand meant for rural consumption. Any guesses what brand I could possibly be talking about? Well, let me tell you, it is a big brand and a big company. Yes, I am talking about the brand Mahindra. Their major volumes actually came from government contracts for defense and police vehicles. But post the year 2000, it all changed, and how? With an aspiration to enter the urban market fold, they launched Bolero and then Scorpio, and after that, there was no looking back for them. They not only successfully captured the Indian urban SUV market, but they also increased their global presence with increased exports. The brand became a youth icon. It was not a rural company anymore. Similarly, Mahindra's tractors grew massively, and today they are the biggest tractors and farm equipment company in the world, at least by volume. They have a strong market presence in advanced markets like the USA. Today, Mahindra has become a leading brand in the SUV segment, competing with reputed international brands like Toyota, Volvo, Jeep, Morris Garage, Hyundai, and several others. And that's not it. They are no longer even seen as a cheap brand. In fact, unlike Maruti and Hyundai, which still sell because of their cheap pricing, Mahindra sells because of its brand value. Their products are technically superior and they command a premium price for their brands like XUV and Scorpio. Similarly, even their tractors are not the cheapest, but they are certainly the largest selling tractors in the world. And that is the power of strong brand promise and a well designed brand identity. The brand was completely repositioned. We defined their core identity, crafted a powerful origin story, and realigned their messaging to focus on the value they deliver. And not just the specs of the product, we redesigned their showrooms, their service centers to match international standards. Right from their advertising, their sales communication, their digital presence, and their customer engagements were redesigned to connect with the new age customers. The brand Mahindra was seen as a cult brand for people who wanted more from life. Scorpio was seen as a signature of dominance on the road, and with XUV 500, they began to position themselves as a premium automobile brand. When XUV was launched, it commanded a waiting period of possibly over 6 months. Similarly, even for the international markets, the brand pitch and websites were aligned with international market sentiments. The branding was not just limited to the markets alone. In fact, I must tell you here that strategic branding always begins from inside the organization before it goes out to the customer. With the Mahindra Rise program, they focus on aligning all the stakeholders with the brand Mahindra, its values, mission, and even the purpose. The sales and service teams, their dealerships, and distributors were all aligned to the new focus of the brand. Even their back office teams, including manufacturing, sourcing, accounts, and the admin teams, were all trained to represent the new brand Mahindra. The offices were refurbished. Talents were hired from premium colleges. It was a 360-degree brand revamp. And the result is in front of all of us to see. The old products didn't change really, if you ask me. The quality was already there. Only the new product lines were added to meet the new needs of the new markets. If you ask me what changed, it was how the brand Mahindra was perceived. And that perception, that brand, is what opened the doors that were locked for those years. And this Mahindra story isn't an exception. It is a pattern I see again and again. When you finally stop competing on price and start leading with your brand, everything changes. The reason I've shared the Mahindra brand's journey is to give you the belief that brands can transform businesses. From an ordinary rural Jeep and tractor company, Mahindra has not only entered new businesses like IT, aerospace, realty, finance, and many more, but they have also become a multinational conglomerate. They are present in advanced markets like the USA, Europe, and South Africa. You know, most manufacturers think that the biggest challenge in their business is either logistics or pricing or competition. But I've worked with enough businesses to tell you that those aren't really the big barriers. The real reason many Indian companies struggle to grow internationally is because they are missing one thing: a clear, compelling, and consistent brand strategy, a distinct brand promise. Now imagine this, you walk into a global buyers conclave and they already know your brand and are interested in doing business with you. Your products are recognized for quality and reliability and not just its price. You enter new regions with a brand identity that instantly builds trust. And the best thing is, you don't have to spend like a multinational to make this happen. As the strategy studio, Be Ahead helps businesses achieve their global leadership aspirations through our strategic brand transformation blueprint. The program is designed to take your existing business and reposition it for maximum global visibility, enhance buyer trust, and long term loyalty. It is time to stop thinking like a vendor and start winning like a brand. Now you might be thinking, but Amit, branding is not something for our kind of business. It is for the big B2C brands. We are only a B2B or a small B2C client. Let me challenge you there. Branding is not about having celebrity ads on TV or having some flashy packaging. It is about creating the perceived value so the buyer wants you, not just need you. Whether you make any kind of industrial machinery, consumer durables, FMCG, food products, farm and agricultural products, or you are into healthcare and pharma or automotive, or whether you are offering IT or non-technical service solutions, the moment you differentiate clearly and consistently, you shift the conversation from what's your best price to how can we work long term with you. Branding is the bridge between product and consumer preference. And if you are not building it, you're going to lose it to someone who's going to do it before you. Here's how the strategic brand transformation blueprint works. In just a few weeks, we identify and implement 3 high impact changes. Change number 1, strategic brand positioning. Here, we clarify how your brand should be seen in the global market so buyers understand your unique value instantly. Change number 2, trust building, visual identity, and messaging. In this, we create and align brand elements like packaging, pitch decks, catalogs, and messaging that speak directly to what global buyers are looking for. And finally, change number 3, the smart localized outreach strategy. Even with a lean market budget, we craft a marketing path to enter new markets with clarity and confidence. And this is not a course or a DIY program. It is a hands-on process where my team and I work with you at every step. From brand audits to implementation, everything is designed to export-focused Indian manufacturers who want real results, not just some kind of fluff. And let me reaffirm, brands don't win by overspending. They win by out-positioning. Now maybe you're wondering, do I really need this right now? Well, if you're already exporting but your growth has plateaued, then yes. If you're tired of unstable orders and price-based competition, then certainly yes. And if your distributors aren't helping you scale your brand, then absolutely yes and yes. Now you might think, but Amit, we are already tight on budget. Well, that's exactly when you need this. The strategic brand blueprint is built to make the most of your limited resources. It's not about spending more, it's about being smarter. You might think, what if I don't have a good marketing team? Well, you don't need one. This is a collaborative process. We give you the tools, the templates, and support to implement efficiently. And more importantly, or rather most importantly, you won't do it alone. Our team will guide you and your team at every step. So here's the next step. Click the button below and book a free one-on-one strategy call with me directly. No pitches, no pressures. Just a focused conversation to see where your brand stands today and what specific steps can be done to elevate it globally. And the best thing is, whether we work together or not, you will definitely walk away with clarity about your brand and your business. So let's transform your brand into your customer's first choice. Click the button now and book your free strategy call. Let's make your brand promise dil se rahe. And if you are watching this on YouTube, then click the link given in the description below and book your free strategy call.